Would you like to say something to the press?
We had a historic meeting and decided to leave the past behind, and we are about to sign a historic document. The world will see a major change. I would like to express my gratitude to President Trump to make this meeting happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And what, 3 months ago, he was saying fire and fury and red button and calling him a dotard. And now look where we're at.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
Well, I had to really go back. I'm going to have to rewatch that segment, those last two segments with Steve Pieczenik, just with all the information dump he was doing. The history involved with this North Korean peace deal goes back, you know, pre-year 2000 with Donald Trump. This Time Warner merger, what it really means, it's just these old dinosaurs trying to recoddle their bones together. The economy, Dennis Rodman. It's all there, and you get that here on the War Room and here in general at the Infowars.com news studios. I mean, that's what we're bringing to you every day, and we do it with the support of people who spread the links. Take this link, /show. It's got all the links to all our shows right there. Boom, all the live links. And they stream 24 hours a day, so you can watch them, pick it up anytime. Infowars.com /show. That's why I like to say that at the end of every segment is the free stream to send out to everybody you know. Now, our next guest is really the co-host here on the War Room, Roger Stone, who will be joining us in a couple days as part of our 34-hour broadcast that we're going to do starting Thursday, 8 a.m. I'm actually going to be kicking it off. Normally David Knight's time slot. He's on vacation this week. And this was sort of last minute. We were going to move it to next weekend, then we decided to do it this weekend because the IG report's coming out. The fall of the deep state and the release of the IG report. We'll be providing live coverage and analysis of this report and what it means and all the news fallout and everything else that's happening. Who knows? We may have another breaking story, some sort of a false flag to pull our attention away from this IG report, especially if it's damning to certain Democrats. And now, wearing an amazing Technicolor dream coat is Roger Stone.
Thank you very much, Rob. You know, I can honestly say I have never seen a segment with Steve Pieczenik in which I didn't learn something. His depth of knowledge, his contacts, his analysis is really spot on. He's a true American patriot. This is, of course, a Madras jacket, which is suitable for this time of year, mostly in southern climes. And yes, I will be rocking it when I come to Austin Thursday and Friday, when we stage a marathon to educate the American people about the incredible corruption of the Obama administration and their illegal and unconstitutional efforts to steal the last presidential election.
And maybe we'll learn some things in this report that could help you in your many cases where you're having to be trotted up and back and forth to D.C. to go talk about things that never happened. You can easily prove them, but no, they just want to drag your name through the mud, of course. And it's just ridiculous. But, Roger, let's start off with this summit yesterday on an island that used to be a Japanese prisoner of war camp. Now it's a place where North Korea, United States came together, shook hands, signed a four bullet point deal, 2-page memo, essentially. And, you know, where do we go from here?
Well, it's interesting to me the way the mainstream media has immediately jumped all over Donald Trump because he has not instantaneously produced a magic deal in which the North Koreans agree to everything that we want unconditionally. And he has been, I think, a shrewd negotiator from the beginning. If you go back and look, he always tempered his optimism with the negotiator's statement of caution. You can find him saying, well, maybe we'll make a deal. Maybe we won't make a deal. Sure would be great for the whole world and for both of our countries if we could make a deal. But if it doesn't happen, hey, that's okay, too. He also made it clear that he didn't expect this to be much more than an ice-breaking, kind of a first opportunity for each leader to take the measure of the other man. These kind of complicated negotiations the art of the deal, if you will, takes some time. And this is what Trump does well. If you can negotiate with the cutthroats in Manhattan real estate, you can most definitely negotiate with the dictator of North Korea.
Yeah, I totally agree. And of course, the media was having a field day. Guys, we have a clip that Harrison Smith was putting together, and it kind of shows through the years. It's actually going to start off in the 90s, Roger. And it goes through his statements on North Korea. And I think people are going to find it very enlightening. So let's play this right now, and then I'll get your comments.
Let's look at North Korea. North Korea is developing missiles like nobody has ever seen. And we better do something rather quickly with them, hopefully through negotiation. But we better do something rather quickly with them. Russia
What if, on the North Korean front, what if the North Koreans don't play ball, develop a nuclear capability, go forward with their missile development? Does the United States act unilaterally?
Excuse me. If spoken to correctly, they will play ball. You go in, you start negotiating, and if you don't stop them from doing it, you will have to take rather drastic actions, because if you don't take them now, you're going to be in awfully big trouble in 5 years from now when they have more missiles than we do. We're a bunch of saps. There's no question that North Korea is developing missiles. We give them nuclear power plants. We give them tremendous aid because we thought we could bribe them into stop development. Well, they're developing. So much so that South Korea is now developing their own missile systems in order to protect. And I'm really not sure I can blame them. But North Korea is totally out of control. And would you rather have a very, very serious chat with them now? And if necessary, you might have to do something fairly drastic. Or would you rather have to go after them in 5 years when they have more nuclear warheads and missiles than we do? First, I'd negotiate. I would negotiate like crazy, and I'd make sure that we tried to get the best deal possible. The biggest problem this world has is nuclear proliferation. And we have a country out there, North Korea, which is sort of wacko, which is not a bunch of dummies, and they are going out and they are developing nuclear weapons. And they're not doing it because they're having fun doing it. They're doing it for a reason. And wouldn't it be good to sit down and really negotiate something, and ideally negotiate? Now, if that negotiation doesn't work, you better solve the problem now than solve it later, Tim. And you know it, and every politician knows it, and nobody wants to talk about it. Jimmy Carter, who I really like, and he went over there. It was so soft. These people are laughing at us.
New information tonight that Donald Trump
Let's stop it right there. Roger, I see why you wanted to push Donald Trump to run in the year 2000, because you were actually pushing. That was right leading up to the 2000 election. That was presidential right there. And the things he said back then, almost 20 years ago, he just went and did.
Those comments really are what propelled a very serious effort to draft him for the Reform Party presidential nomination in 2000. It's interesting that when you looked at his remarks on trade yesterday, Rob, I swear they could word for word have been given in 1988 when he visited Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and spoke to the Chamber of Commerce on trade issues. He's been extraordinarily consistent. This is something the American people aren't used to. And he has been persistent in terms of getting these things done. It is interesting because I've seen this phenomena before. When President Nixon reached a historic strategic arms limitation agreement with the Russians, the so-called SALT agreement, where they have a lavish and very formal signing of the documents by both party leaders, American liberals and Democrats hated it. It wasn't that they were against limiting nuclear weapons, it was that it was being done by Nixon. The same thing is happening here. Donald Trump is forging the way towards peace, and the Democrats hate it because it's Trump, not because it's the wrong policy.
Yeah, exactly. But they had a chance. I mean, Dennis Rodman had been working for this for a while. I think, who knows why he initially went over there, but when he came back, he said, hey, I tried to reach out to the White House, and they rebuffed me. They literally slammed the door in my face. I was rebuffed by the country. I was made a laughingstock. And this happened. I mean, I think we even had comments like, why is he going there? What is this doing? You know, he's giving, you know, kind of giving legitimacy to a dictator. But I think now when you kind of look back, take a step back and you see what he was doing, he really was almost a visionary. Now, when we come back, Roger, I want to play the rest of that clip of Trump and what he was saying leading up to this negotiation, this first step, this handshake that we saw with North Korea and what it means And also, I'm going to give out the phone number. Maybe the last couple segments we'll take some of your calls to see what your reaction was, see if any of our other listeners had any other points they want to make about this historic deal that was being, at least the first steps of it were being made. Thank you, Roger Stone. We'll be right back. You're watching The War Room. Infowars.com/show is the free stream to send out to everybody you know. All right, welcome back to The War Room. We're going to open up the phone lines for the bottom of the hour. If you got a question for me or Roger, I'd rather talk about the peace deal, see what you think about it, see what you think is going to happen. In fact, let's put out a poll, Allie. Will Trump bring peace to North Korea, yes or no? Maybe the third selection could be Dennis Rodman is awesome. So people can say that if they don't want to say yes or no. So our number here to join us, 888-201-2244, 888-201-2244. Roger Stone is joining me now. In last segment, we were playing a video of Trump back in the 90s talking about how to deal with North Korea. And essentially, the things he was saying then 20 years ago, he put into practice. And it's like he was just waiting for his moment to shine. Roger, do you want to pick up where that left off and we can see what else Trump was saying?
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned Dennis Rodman because, of course, Dennis is a fixture here in the gentlemen's clubs in South Florida. The odds are like 90% if you go to an upscale gentlemen's club anywhere in the greater Broward, Miami-Dade area, you will run into Dennis Rodman. And he's almost always talking about the historic possibilities of peace in Korea, not to mention being surrounded most generally by a bevy of beautiful women. I think he's been on a one-man diplomatic mission here, and if it brings peace, doesn't matter whether you like his earring or his nose ring or not, he will have contributed to that process. Beyond that, it's laughable to watch the liberals who want the president to fail. They'd rather have thermonuclear war than give Donald Trump a victory. It really is extraordinary.
Yeah, it is. And then if thermonuclear war was brought upon us, they'll be like, it's not thermonuclear enough. Trump can't even do that right. I mean, these people find every reason to bitch. I've got something I want to get into later. Bill Clinton's alleged rape victim just went viral. Nice comeback. And that has to do with Juanita Broaddrick. We showed here some video of 5 different individuals confronting Bill Clinton at his Austin book signing here. And later also, Roger, I want to get into this. Creepy Joe Biden confronted again over his touchy behavior. And this is the same man, Howard Kaplan, who confronted him back in April and also confronted Bill Clinton recently about his flights on the Lolita Express. So it's people standing up, shouting out these questions, even at, at these events. These are questions. It's not like we're just screaming at him, calling him a Nazi or anything. It's asking real legitimate questions, bringing up real legitimate points. I think every one of the 5 people that interrupted him on Sunday night brought up a different point. It wasn't even Bill Clinton is a rapist over and over again. It was Danny Williams. It was Mena, Arkansas. It was his attacks on women. It went over and over again. Lolita Express flights. It kind of covered the gambit of the Bill Clinton crime. So I want to get into that later. But let's pick up with that video of Donald Trump basically telling us how he was going to do the North Korean deal before he actually did it.
New information tonight that Donald Trump got a dire warning about a major national security threat he'll face when he enters the Oval Office. A threat that comes from a young, impetuous dictator who executed his own uncle. U.S. intelligence officials tell CNN the White House is conveying that North Korea is a grave, near-term threat to America. The Wall Street Journal says the Obama team viewed North Korea as Trump's top national security priority and warned the Trump transition team.
President Trump's message of the day for Kim Jong-un, rather unique, telling Bloomberg Politics, if it would be appropriate for me to meet with him, I would, absolutely. I would be honored to do it. Under the right circumstances, I would meet with him. It's a message to Kim Trump offered on the campaign trail.
Who the hell cares? I'll speak to anybody. Who knows? There's a 10% or a 20% chance that I can talk him out of those damn nukes.
The international community is struggling to contain the rapidly escalating threats of North Korea's nuclear program. It's an extremely tense delicate situation that requires calm diplomacy and sober deliberation. Unfortunately, we elected a human bullhorn with a corn syrup addiction. Trump is talking tough on North Korea. But if this week has shown anything, it's that we have a president who is temperamentally unfit to deal with a situation like this.
The era of strategic patience with the North Korean regime has failed. Many years, and it's failed. And frankly, that patience is over.
President Trump is well aware of the growing threat, telling the Financial Times, quote, if China is not going to solve North Korea, we will.
Today, the United States is designating North Korea as a state sponsor of terrorism. Should have happened a long time ago, should have happened years ago. In addition to threatening the world by nuclear devastation, North Korea has repeatedly supported acts of international terrorism, including assassinations on foreign soil. The North Korean regime must be lawful. It must end its unlawful nuclear and ballistic missile development and cease all support for international terrorism, which it is not doing.
The crisis.
All right, let's cut right there, and we'll pick it back up with Fareed Zakaria in a second. Of course, he's probably going to naysay everything Trump is doing. But that's pretty interesting, the tough talk with Trump leading up to an eventual meeting. I mean, he wasn't like laying down saying, oh, we hope we can meet with him. He's so amazing. No, he says, well, I'm designating him a terror state. Okay? And I'm sure the left got mad at him when he said that, didn't they, Roger?
Yeah, that didn't age very well, did it? Trump got these guys to the table. And the tough talk, the saber rattling is what got them to the table. And now it's incredible. Liberals are secretly hoping that there'll be no deal, that these peace negotiations will fall apart. Look, Trump is a master at this. He knows when to push ahead. He knows when to back away. He knows when to back off entirely. The man has ice water in his veins in terms of toughness, and he knows that a bad deal is worse than no deal. He won't make a bad deal, but I do think he'll make a deal because he recognizes that they see their economic interests and that their long-term prospects of continuing to sit out in the darkness eating dogs and having no part of the world economy is not very attractive. So my money's on Trump. This isn't going to happen overnight, but I think we're going to get a historic peace deal that will have Trump go down as one of our greatest presidents. Let's be very clear. Bill Clinton couldn't do this. Barack Obama could not do this. George W. Bush could not do this. But to cut the president short and declare this a fiasco because they don't have a deal on day one, that's ridiculousness.
Now, as we go to break, do you think Rex Tillerson could have pulled this off as Secretary of State?
Zero chance. One thing is very clear, and you see this in the Iran deal. Trump really works well with Pompeo. They work in tandem. For all we know, they're doing the good guy, bad guy routine. Tillerson could never had the chops to pull this off, in my opinion.
So it was a good thing we got him out, and you predicted it back in December that it would happen in January. Of course, you've got a crystal ball. Now, we got some callers calling in. I can't wait to talk to them. And we're going to get to more of that video of Trump just kind of predicting what he was going to do and showing you how the art of the deal in, I guess, over a 20-year period could happen. So there it is. Donald Trump could bring peace to North Korea. It'd be amazing to see. We'll be right back. Rob Dew here. You're watching The War Room. You can follow me on Twitter at Dews News, DEWSNEWZ. Before we get back into Trump and the peace deal, and we're going to go to your calls as well. I got John in Maryland, Jefferson in Virginia. Remember, when politicians say they want to grab your guns and do all this stuff, they are increasing their security, their armed security, because I think we just had the first anniversary of Steve Scalise being shot and other congressional aides being shot and the gunman being killed. Here's an article. Politicians fear safety as threats against Congress skyrockets. Representative Barry Loudermilk of Georgia bought body armor. Greg Harper hired armed security guards for events back home in Mississippi. And Dan Donovan fortified his Brooklyn and Staten Island offices with security cameras and buzzer systems. Okay? And they're not doing that for NRA members. They're not worried about NRA members attacking them. They're worried about people on mass murder pills. People that are so blitzed out of their mind, they don't know which way is up. So just remember that every time they try to take your guns, they're increasing their security. They don't want you to have your security, at least those who are gun grabbers. So we were finishing up with that video with Roger Stone. Did we get Roger back? Okay, we'll play this video here in a second. But that's what happens with technology sometimes. It's amazing, but sometimes you can always go on the phone with them if it's not working. We'll go on the phone. But we have Trump. We're showing video up until the summit meeting happens and all of his buildup of pretty intense rhetoric against North Korea. You know, labeled them a terrorist nation, basically putting them on notice that, hey, we're watching you. Our eyes are on you. The Obama administration was telling him, hey, North Korea is your top priority. So before his second year of office is up, he's already gone and shaken hands with the North Korean dictator, and they've laid out at least a 4-part plan that will hopefully lead to peace in that peninsula. So let's go to that video now of Trump basically with the lead up to this peace process, this peace summit.
The crisis we now find ourselves in has been exaggerated and mishandled by the Trump administration to a degree that is deeply worrying and dangerous.
North Korea best not make any more threats to the United States. They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen.
For his entire life, Donald Trump has made grandiose promises and ominous threats and never delivered on either.
The war of words between US President Donald Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is beginning to shake even the most steady of nerves.
What are you doing to prepare for the summit with North Korea?
I think I'm very well prepared. I don't think I have to prepare very much. It's about attitude. It's about willingness to get things done.
I explained to President Trump that his leadership and his maximum pressure policy, together with international solidarity, brought us to this juncture. I expressed President Moon Jae-in's personal gratitude for President Trump's leadership.
Would you like to say something to the press?
We had a historic meeting and decided to leave the past behind, and we are about to sign a historic document. The world will see a major change. I would like to express my gratitude to President Trump to make this meeting happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And what, 3 months ago, he was saying fire and fury and red button, calling him a dotard. And now look where we're at. That's the art of the deal. Do we have Roger back on? All right, Roger, we finished up with that long kind of clip that kind of brought us from the 1990s, 1999, all the way up to today. A mission nearly 20 years in the making. It is pretty amazing, isn't it?
It's really an extraordinary moment, Rob. And I think it's important people realize that we're able to bring you this kind of cutting-edge, unbiased coverage of this only through the loyal patronage of our listeners and viewers at the Infowars.com store. You won't get this kind of analysis at CNN or MSNBC or any of the networks. And I can honestly say, I think the revolution is fueled by BrainForce Plus, an incredible product which gives you mental clarity, mental energy, the ability to fight those extra hours for freedom, be creative, be productive, but it doesn't jack you up like those, energy drinks where you have an ugly crash. So it's at a great price right now at the Infowars.com store. This really is the supplement that, for me, underwrites the energy level of the revolution.
Yeah, and I just want to give a little endorsement here to the Real Red Pill Plus. I've got with me the Real Red Pill and then Real Red Pill Plus right here. Now, if you look at their supplement facts, everything is exactly the same, except once you get past the beet juice. It has an energy blend of green tea extract, coffee fruit, yerba mate leaf extract, and guarana seed extract. Still the same amount of pregnenolone, same amount of vitamin K, same amount of vitamin B12, same amount of magnesium, zinc, selenium, copper, manganese. But you get with the Real Red Pill Plus that little boost of energy. And I took 2 of these about 10 minutes ago. I was going to go get a cup of coffee. Now I'm fine. Now I'm just going to have some water, which is probably better for me anyway, although we do sell some amazing organic coffee. And it does. You're right, Roger. It funds everything we do here. And right now we got some great deals. So get in on it before they run out. We want you to try these products so you see how good they are, see the great deals you're getting, and then you'll be a repeat customer and also a word-of-mouth advertiser. Now let's go to these calls. We got Jefferson in Virginia. Let's go to him first. He's got a specific question for you, Roger. So go ahead, Jefferson. Yeah.
Hey, Rob. Roger, Hi. Can you hear me? Are you there?
I don't know. Did we drop Roger off? Okay. I think we did drop Roger off on accident. We had him up on our phone system. I'm not sure what happened, but we're calling him back right now. Hang on, Jefferson. I just want to remind people, next segment, we're going to show this video of creepy Joe Biden being confronted. And I want to get into a tweet that Juanita Broaddrick put out after Bill Clinton's Al Franken moment saying, he literally said, I think it's terms have really changed and what you can, I think the norms have really changed in terms of what you can do to somebody against their will. He said that in an interview that came out just yesterday. I covered it. And so Juanita Broaddrick replied, here's this. So Bill Clinton thinks he should get a pass because it was 1978 when he raped me, and he knows it's not acceptable in today's society. And then Maggie Haberman, of all people, came to the defense of Juanita Broaddrick, and I'm going to read these tweets of what the vile liberals said in response. How dare anyone attack President Clinton? Now, we have Roger Stone on the line. Jefferson, go ahead with your question.
Thank you, Rob. Roger, it's good to talk to you. My question for you is, do you think it would be a good idea for the president to sign a secret executive order, which Obama did 19 times during his terms, to basically direct to the Department of Justice and the FBI that they cannot issue any immunity offers to anybody without the president signing off on them? They would not be valid without his signature.
I like that as a reform. I also think the president should immediately order the declassification of all of the material pertaining to this phony Russia investigation. How did this get started? When did it really get started? Who was in on it? What are they hiding? They're playing this game of keep away with the president.
All right, stay right there, Roger. We'll be right back, guys. I'll let you continue. Jefferson on the other side. You're watching The War Room. Thanks for watching.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
As the years go by, it gets harder and harder to keep up with your body's nutritional needs. With changes in diet, unnatural ingredients, and stress, you may not be able to get all the necessary nutrients, amino acids, vitamins, and minerals needed daily. That's why InfoWars Life created the powerful Vitamin Mineral Fusion formula. The new platinum standard of advanced multivitamin formulation, Vitamin Mineral Fusion uses a unique delivery system to maximize the effects and give your body the tools it needs to support your body. Using a proprietary process, we've managed to make this powerhouse formula into a delicious, concentrated drink mix that's loaded with high-quality ingredients. Perfect for a hot summer day or relaxing at home, Vitamin Mineral Fusion is loaded with 34 different essential vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and more. Start supporting your body's needs in a great-tasting, natural, and affordable drink mix with Vitamin Mineral Fusion today. Available at InfoWarsStore.com.